I just finished reading this book. As you can see, it's Descendant of the Grain by Joan He, and I have to say that I love this book a lot. And there is like three things about this book that I love the most. One of them is the characters and the relationships they have with each other, and how the relationships interweave between them. And I love the dynamics of all the characters, and how they fit or don't fit together, and that's amazing. Another thing that I loved a lot about this book is that it sort of happens in this gray area. And by that I mean that there is not right or wrong choices, black and white situations. It's, sometimes we find our main characters sacrificing the truth in order to gather more truth, or, finding an action that she has taken affects everyone in ways that she hadn't thought beforehand. And basically is that there is like no right or wrong. It's not clear, and there's lots of gray areas in this book. And I love that, because sometimes when you're reading a book, it's like, okay, there's like, this is the right thing to do, and you're going to do that because you are in the wrong thing, and you're going to fix everything. And I love how this book, despite having a character that's trying to fix things, is discovering that every time that she touches something or wants to change something, there's like this chain reaction of things that she wasn't expecting to, that bring more disaster. And that's, you fix something and then you find the reaction of another character, because power, it's like this sort of balance, and you have power, but there's other people who also have power, and they don't see things as you do, so when you exert your power, they do too. So that was something that I enjoy about this book a lot too. And the ending, I'm not going to be doing any spoilers here, but I love that when you read the last page, it's like the story closes, but you also have this open ending. And I have found myself wondering about what's going to happen next. What are going to do these characters that I have come to love? What are going to be their next interactions? What's going to happen next? And that's amazing, because I have loved this world so much. We have here this little map of where the action is going to happen. And so we have this main character. This is Princess Hesina. I'm not sure how you will pronounce that. But at the very beginning of the book, we are going to find her. Her father has been killed. She thinks that he has been poisoned, and she wants to find out who the culprit is, because she sort of needs this closure. She needs to figure out who killed the king and why, and if that person is someone who is close, or it's someone who came, or what happened. So we are going to find her with one of her brothers, adoptive brothers, and we are going to find more about the relationships as we keep reading on the book. And she's going to do something that's completely forbidden, that's going to seek the help of a soothsayer. She's part of this new dynasty in which we have these people who, took the old dynasty and just, put it away. I don't know how to say that now. They eradicate the old dynasty, and when they came to power, one of the things that they did was kill or eliminate the soothsayers. The oldest dynasty used the figure of the sooth to help them to see the future, to persecute the idea of the elixir of immortality, and they used the sooths in a way that helped them gain power, and and they ended up being this kind of kings who were like very self-centered, didn't care about the people. And so when this next generation of kings come, one of the things they do is persecute the sooths. And because sooth, I don't know how it's pronounced, and I pronounce it like sooths or sooths, depending on I think it's sooths, right? And when the next generation of kings and queens come, what they do is dispose of the sooths. And they do that because they, sometimes humanity does this thing. When they don't comprehend something, they fear that something, or fear that person or that community or whatever. And the way of dealing with this fear is eradicating that which humanity fears, instead of just trying to empathize or just trying to comprehend why there is someone or something that's different. And in this book, we are going to have, as I say, suits that are going to be eliminated because they have this ability of seeing into the future, so they can make predictions. And also, some of them have powers, different kinds of powers. You're going to have ones that can manipulate light or shadows, someone that can, I don't know, manipulate the elements, things like that. You're going to see different kind of powers in the book. So the thing that they did was eliminate them because they were different. So they didn't stop and think what they were doing exactly. It's like, okay, you were helping the audience see we want to change the world, so you were in the middle of it. So yeah, and in the actual moment in which we are reading the book, we are finding that they are like persecuted, and there are very few alive, or it looks like that. And when one of them is found out, it's killed automatically because people fear them and they don't want anything to have with them. So they're like these persecuted people, and that's very awful. So at the beginning of the book, it's very shocking that this princess that has been instilled all these things about suits being bad decides to go consult one because she wants to know who killed her father, and she thinks that maybe this person can help. And this person reads the future, and he has this sort of communication with her, but not because that person tells her the future or what she sees that she has to do to find the truth about her father, but because she finds out that this person is human, and that whilst there's people who fear them and persecute them, there's people who abuse them in order to, to have the future read or to have a glimpse of the power that she has bestowed upon them. So she begins to, that very moment in the beginning of the book, it's what makes her begin to doubt herself and the things that she has been taught about those who are different. And we are going to find the thought says something to her that she has to go to the prison, and she has to save a person that is in there, because that person is the one that's going to be helping her in a trial that she's going to do in order to find who killed her father. So the thing is that she convokes this trial in which she wants to know who killed her father. But what she isn't thinking is that there's going to be, as I say, this sort of power imbalance or balance, depending. She wants to use this trial so she can know who killed her father. But there is also other people who have power in the palace who are going to use this trial to blame people who they don't like. They're going to blame people who come from other places, from other kingdoms. So for that people, it's a way, to clean house. And when our main character Hesina discovers that, she begins to second guess what she's willing to sacrifice in order to find the truth about her father, because she is going to see people that she cares about drag into these trials, and she knows those people are innocent, and she knows that there is someone just playing master puppet and trying to put the blame into people that they want to remove. And I think that's very powerful, because Hesina, our main character, she has been grown to be the next queen, but in this moment she's alone. Her father, the person that she looked up to, it's dead, and she has this mother, but it's like a very abusive mother, and she is far away more than she is in the palace. And also when she's in the palace, it's not like she's very helpful, because she's always reminding Hesina of her shortcomings and the things that she cannot do, so she cannot exactly rely on on her mother. And also she has this blood brother, but they have this kind of toxic relationship. They were friends once, but now it's like they don't know how to reach towards each other, and they keep hurting each other every time that that they want to coexist. It's like they can change the pattern in which they have fallen. They keep hurting each other, they keep wanting to fix things maybe, but they keep on just making it worse. They don't know how to work properly. And then we have these two adoptive brother and sister, these twins, and we find that Hesina relies on them a lot. They are the ones that she goes to plan things with, the ones that she goes when she's worried, the ones that, it's, I love this idea of the found family versus blood family. Blood family is the bad family we are born into, and the chosen family is the ones that we choose, to share our life with. And I found this idea, it's amazing how she begins to to have the relationship in which she calls brother and sister, these two people, these two twins, and it's amazing. And I love the relationship. I also love the jealousy that his real brother has for this adoptive brother and how they keep on bickering. And that's one of the things, if not the thing that has, wedged the relationship. And also that the mother that hates her or despises her loves and dotes on her brother. So it's like this dysfunctional family, and I love how she's this person at the beginning of the book that she's very naive, that she thinks that justice can be easily given, and she knows that the truth comes with a price, but she thinks that she's really ready to pay the price and hear the truth. And when we keep on reading, we see how she begins to lose this naivety, this innocence that she has, and she begins to see the world through other lenses in which things aren't as easy as black and white, and she begins to see there's a lot of grace, and she may have power and she may use it, but there's other people who are going to to counter her, and she's going to come to terms with the idea of how far I'm willing to go in order to pursue this idea or this truth or this thing that I want, if it's dragging other people down. This concept of actions having consequences, and how far you're willing to go and how much you're willing to pay for that. And also this idea of I have this responsibility, I have to do this. I love that. I love how complicated she is and how far she goes during the book. And as I say, I love the relationship between all the characters, how sometimes they hurt each other and how sometimes they uplift each other, and how sometimes in hurting each other they find new ways to move around. And also there is another character, this guy who was in the prison, it's called Akira, and he decides he's going to try and help Hesina in the trials in order to find what happened to his father. But we don't know who he was, what he has done to end up in prison. He offers his stories, but Hesina tells us that there is more to that story. And I love this idea of you did what you did, but what matters is who you are now. And that we have to understand our past, we have to come to terms with it, but we have to move forward. We have to be able to say, let it go, let's begin anew. And I love how Akira brings that into motion. This person who maybe did wrong in life but now wants to be different and wants to fix things. And I love the dynamic between them, and I love this attraction that seems to be between Hesina and him, and it's amazing. The narrative of this book, it's amazing. All the chapters are like, I flew through this book and I wanted to, it was like, okay, I'm going to read one chapter more and I'm just going to close the book and I'm going to go to sleep, but I couldn't because I needed to know more. I needed to go to the next chapter. I needed to know what the hell was going on. And there's many twists that I wasn't expecting at all, and they surprised me. And one of the things is Hesina, it's going to be on this learning curve. She's going to be hurt a lot. She's going to discover things that are going to hurt her. And I don't know how the author managed to create this kind of empathy that I ended up having with her. When she cries, I cry. When she hurts, I hurt. When she rages, I rage. And it's amazing all the power Joan's words have. I mean, the ability of making me see the world through Hesina's eyes, to suffer, because she discovers things that hurt her a lot, and you end up suffering for her because when you began the book you don't expect it to be as dark as it is, and not dark because there's gore or blood or something like that, but because it's about humanity. It's about the mistakes of the past. It's about, if my parents did that thing, can I be seen as myself, or I will always be seen as the son or the daughter of, that person that killed her or whatever. It's about standing on your own feet and saying, I'm my own person. And it's about forgiveness and understanding about why other people took the actions they did. And maybe at the time, the actions they took were the needed ones. And maybe they tried to fix things and maybe they couldn't, and maybe there is going to be a next generation that's going to be able to go farther and fix things. And it's about human relationships and about families and about hope and about fighting for what you think is right, and knowing that the action you are going to take are going to have consequences. And it's knowing that if you have power, there's other people who also have power, and you have to decide how far you're going to go. And it's amazing. I mean, I have loved all these ideas of finding a way to reach the past with the actual moment and trying to make a better future for the people in this book and the ones that have been left out on a story, giving voice to the ones who were voiceless. And yeah, I'm going to shut up because I think the review is going to end being very long. But do yourself a favor and pick this one because it's amazing. Thank you for watching. Bye.